Jesus, take the wheel because this is a wild ride. I wanted to talk about this man. This is Pastor James David Manning, and I haven't really seen anyone take that deep of a dive on how insane he actually is. Recently, there was a clip that's made its way around TikTok and the H3 podcast that has shown surface level just how crazy his mind is, but it hasn't gone that deep.
They had this thing going back a year ago with me talking about semen and Starbucks lattes, and they do put it in there. Many people slammed me and said I should get off of it. One guy wrote me and told me he wasn't going to send me any more offerings until I stopped talking about semen in Starbucks coffee. I told him to keep his offerings. But at any rate, the semen is another kind of milk. It's something that's produced by the testicle glands of a man.
When I first saw this clip, I got curious. Not about semen, but about the insane homeless man rambling on the screen. So I dug deeper and I found more. Not semen, nope, more insane ideologies and rambling, like how Starbucks is ground zero for Ebola. Transition. Manning started life as a radicalized baby child in 1947 and had what some would call a thrilling childhood. After growing up in a segregated town, he took the first train out of there after high school was over and went directly to New York City, where everything got significantly better for him. Psych! In the 1960s, he became even more radicalized and picked up a life of crime. Breaking and entering must have been his favorite thing to do because he did it about 100 times. During this fun spree of fun, he even pulled out a shotgun and threatened an associate. So he is a fun guy to have at parties. You gotta invite him anytime you go. He'll be there. Probably with a shotgun and probably take all your stuff, but he spent 3.5 years in the slammer for such exciting crimes as burglary, robbery, larceny, criminal possession of a weapon, and a couple other ones.
Alright then, keep your secrets.
As one does when they spend a lot of time in the brick house, Manning found God in what some call the easiest game of hide and seek ever. In 1981, Pastor David Big Fanning joined the Bethelite Missionary Baptist Church and immediately changed its name to ATLAH World Missionary Church. For all you non-acronymists, ATLAH stands for All the Land Anointed Holy, and within this building they have a media network, they have a school, and then they have the church. Everyone knows Obama, and just like your crazy uncle at Thanksgiving dinner, Manning has a lot to say about him. First off, he likened Obama to Mustache Man from Germany. Secondly, he said he's one of 2 beasts in the book of Revelations. Now that's a pretty bold statement there, man. In other news, Pastor Manning is the monster that lives under your bed. He will come out at night and touch your pee-pees.
Obama pimps white women and black women. He got started. You didn't notice him till he brought out those big-chested white women with their tight t-shirts and their short pants. That's what a pimp does. Oh, come on. You don't get your campaign started with a big-chested white woman. She must be a 54D, double D, and a pair of shorts on. That's what started his campaign. He put his name on 2 big 54Ds. Obama. That's where you first saw his name. That's the first place I saw it, on 2 great big old tits.
While all that is pretty messed up, the sickest name he ever called Obama was a long-legged Mac Daddy. And by sickest, I mean sickest. Like, that's sickest. I'm so jealous. Like, I want to be called a long-legged Mac Daddy. Like, that's sick. But wait, there's more. In 2013, Manning accused Obama of having a quote-unquote love child and then shooting the mother outside of the White House. On August 4th of 2014, he prognosticated that Obama and Vladimir Putin would be outed as gay within 100 days. In early 2016, Manning alleged that President Obama had murdered Supreme Court Justice Anton Scalia. Now, it wasn't just Obama that received the mighty slap of the fanning. That wouldn't be fair now, would it? He firmly believes that both George W. Bush and his father have done the dirty with 100 men. Speaking of man-loving men, Pastor David Touchman Fanning has a lot to say about that. Firstly, he believes that every man that sleeps with another man should be stoned to death. And I'm not talking like Snoop Dogg stoned. I'm talking like stoned with rocks. Shocking, I know, he sounded like such a sweet guy. It's always the ones you least expect, right? He also puts himself on this self-righteous pedestal, which is not uncommon for these crazy pastors to do, but he's a little special because he named himself the Sodomite Slayer for some like pseudo-hero name, I guess.
I need a username, and I have a great one. Little Kid Lover.
He's got a lot more views on this too. Like, he wants Harlem to be a quote-unquote homo-free zone. Now, if you think his ideologies are self-contained in his half-hair dome and they don't spread across his church like graffiti, then you'd be wrong and you should be horribly ashamed of yourself. On the corner of trash bag and six-wheeled minivan sits a sign for this building. The sign is notorious for its obscure revelations and accusations, like this one, that states that all churches and members that support homos should be cursed with cancer, HIV, syphilis, stroke, madness, itch, and then finally hell.
When I preached those messages from the pulpit, they weren't going anywhere. People shut it down. They don't want to hear it. Nobody wants to put me on television. Nobody wants to interview me about my opinions about things. It would just shut down. We don't have.
And it would stay within the confines of these walls.
Until I realized I got thousands of people passing by out there every day. And twice on Sunday. And that became my medium for talking to the world.
So in 2016, New York authorities claimed that Manning and his crazy person church hadn't paid over $1 million in taxes and water bills. So this situation was actually kind of funny to think about because the church was being foreclosed upon and then putting up for public auction, meaning that anybody could buy it. And you know who was saving up their little pennies to buy it? It was me. No, I'm just kidding. The Ali Forney Center, a great use and a great cause for the building, but this sent the pastor spiraling. He said, quote, men who are with testicles will be carrying babies in their testicles and giving birth to them through their anus. That's how impossible it is for you to get this house. When you start carrying a baby in your bags and birthing that baby through your ass, then you can own this house. But until I see you pull a baby out of your ass, you ain't gonna pull this church out from underneath us. So you can see he's very gung-ho about gung-hos, if you will. He also said that him and his congregation would barricade and arm themselves within the building to keep the new owners from taking ownership of it, which is just... Bro. Unfortunately, the slippery son of a bitch has made it through this time. I guess the church has narrowly evaded eviction twice. But it wouldn't be long before the church is designated as a hate group and abuse allegations start rolling in like trains. Within the walls of this building are a K-12 private school, and as you can imagine, it's not all sunshine and rainbows in there. It's actually neither sunshine nor rainbows. A previous student recently came forward about how he was locked inside the school's basement for 3 days. Every day, Manning would take him down there and lock him down there for 8 hours in the dark, cold basement. This type of manipulation and control is really rampant within this school, actually. Recently, the Huffington Post spoke to 27 members who have been associated with the school, whether they've been faculty, students, part of the congregation. They found instances of Manning forcing kids to go by new names, fasting weekly. There were even some instances of him convincing parents to abandon their children. Some previous students have talked about being forced to watch YouTube videos that Manning had created himself, which, as we all know, his videos are really...
So they blend a little semen synthetic with their synthetic blends of milk.
Out there, so forcing a child to do that is just insane. But thankfully, YouTube took down his channel in 2019. Students are required to fast on Wednesdays, and they're also assigned physical tasks, such as like cleaning out the sewers in the church, and also shoveling snow off of Manning's car so he can get out. It's just insane how messed up this guy is. Like, I do not get it. I don't understand how crazy he is. Like, what is going on in his fucking noggin? At one point, he even asked members of his congregation to shit in a bag and then leave it on the doorstep of local gay-owned businesses. Like, what? What are you, 12? There was also an audio recording of this dude allegedly trying to touch and seduce a teen. He, of course, denied it, but the students were kicked out from the school, and then he directed their parents to disown them, too. So, great reaction. So not only is he actually bonkers, but he's also a criminal and a cult leader. The paranormal spooky side of me wants to be like, ooh, maybe it's the building like the Cecil Hotel. Maybe it's just naturally evil, because this is actually not the first cult to be inside of this building. During the Great Depression, there was a cult ran by this guy named Father Divine, and it was in that same building. So maybe it's just the building. Maybe he's just a creepy, evil, crazy dude. It's kind of, you know, it's kind of up to us, I guess. That was pretty dark. I don't know how to recover from that, honestly. Wait. He's had a man in him the whole time. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. If you did, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing. All of that stuff helps the channel so I can continue to make videos. And then it also gets us one step closer to convincing Banksy to just pay a little visit to their sign.